nigga. Get it.
A saying, a hill you want to die on. Let me read the textbook definition of that. It says a cause or belief so important to someone that they are willing to fight fiercely for it, even to the point of risking significant consequences or even their own well-being. A hill you will die on essentially is questioning someone's priorities. Is that the hill you want to die on? Is a question that is always asked when somebody is doing something stupid. So what hill do you want to die on? Is it the same hill that you've been standing on? That's a question for people who want so bad for Trump to be out of the White House. They want him out of the White House so bad, all while refusing to discard the things that helped him get in there again in the first place. Rather than even pretending to care about the economy, the border, parental rights, gun rights, the First Amendment, and other common sense things like those, the left chose to focus on all things that were, I'll say, against all things natural, nature, and normal. And the only God that the left didn't stand in defiance of was Baal.
So even though he may have won the general election by less than 50%, 52% disapprove of what he's doing.
Okay.
We're also seeing Republican voters at town halls opposing his executive overreach, giving Elon Musk the shadow presidency. Yet you said, quote, Trump is closer to normal than what we're seeing on the left.
Yeah, I was talking about why he won the election.
So?
When I made that statement, I was talking about, that was before the election.
I see.
Right?
Okay.
So when during the election, I said, in the immediate aftermath of the election, I pointed out he was voted for because they considered him closer to normal than what the Democrats were spewing. That was what I said at that particular moment in time. Now,
the left was diametrically opposed to all things normal. When the other side can make the most sense by simply saying that a woman is an adult human female, then what's going on the other side? That's all the right had to do, adult human female, and they win. They win because the left is saying that even I could be a woman if I wanted to. Tomorrow I could be no, not tomorrow. Today if I wanted to, I could be a woman. But anyway, that's one of the many things that's on the hill that it appears that they want to die on. Defending my right as a man to menstruate.
Because you're not connecting with people because you're arguing over what? Bullshit. Bullshit.
Yeah, they have. The DNC has allowed crazy people to be representative of that party. The most craziest of the crazy is out on the forefront, and everybody can see him. Now, before I get all the way into my commentary, I'm already in it, but before I get all the way into it, let me give you another example of the hill that you want to die on.
I need y'all to see the inherent transphobia and thus anti-blackness that is embedded within this compliment. The excitement around Pamela Anderson not wearing makeup at a time where anti-trans legislation and transphobia is heightened, I need you to get that this is also signaling Pamela Anderson is a real woman. Look, she doesn't even have to wear makeup. And she doesn't have to wear makeup, and when she does it, she's ethereal doing it.
You see that? You got to get them away from you. And that other stuff about me being able to get pregnant, you got to get it away from y'all. Got to do it. No makeup is transphobic and racist.
Because you're not connecting with people because you're arguing over what? Bullshit. Bullshit.
Y'all got to get this stuff away from y'all. Y'all meaning the people of the left. That's who I'm talking about when I say y'all. In this commentary, it's about the chatter I've been hearing since Trump got back in the White House about how the left can retake the Senate and or the House in 2 years. You know, with the Senate race that's coming up in 2026. The chatter has also even been about taking the White House back in 2028. Now, let's just say we're still here in 2028 where little to nothing has changed. I'm going to show you how you should be talking and who you should be talking about to shift common sense back to your side. And the chatter that I've been hearing, well, it brought about this.
And things get even worse when you look at the man who won the office of DNC chair. This is the guy that David Hogg will be advising as vice chair. It's a guy named Ken Martin, who currently leads Democrats in Minnesota. And if you don't know anything about Ken Martin, which nobody does, here's how he answered one very important question during this leadership contest. This is just about the simplest question and the easiest one he could have possibly been asked. And he managed to give the wrong answer. Here it is.
In October of 2024, a large part, about 1/3 of Trump's advertising budget, went specifically to this one ad. It was about gender-changing surgeries for a small number of transgender, incarcerated, undocumented immigrants. These particular ads ended with the line, "Kamala is for they, them, President Trump is for you." How should Democrats respond to this attack?
Our party has to live its values. Everyone has dignity. Our party believes that no matter where you're from, no matter where you live, no matter who you love or who you are, you have dignity and we're going to fight for you. And that's what we're going to do as a Democratic Party.
So the DNC figures that it's going to strengthen itself by nominating Ken Martin as the DNC chair.
Wrong.
No, you're not going to strengthen your party by nominating nut baskets like that. Or even with the vice chair who is homosexual LGBTQIA. With people like that, you'll get what got your asses kicked in the first place.
But the problem is that if you're the Democratic Party and you lost 49.8% to 48.3%, and you're looking at that 1.5% dip, that's an excuse for you to say, what we did really wasn't that bad.
Some people didn't
we
show
should
up.
continue to do that.
Refusing to acknowledge your wrongdoing is going to strengthen the right, if anything. The Senate and the House is going to turn redder, and the White House even more red than the redder than that if y'all don't get rid of these nut baskets that took over the DNC approximately 6 years ago.
But, there's no time to dwell on that one bit of absurdity. The whole thing was a parade of absurdity that went on for hours, like this moment where the proceedings eventually came to an abrupt halt because one candidate identified as non-binary, and that created some confusion because the DNC apparently has strict rules requiring gender balance among the party chairs who are elected. So what do you do when someone shows up and they are none of the genders, when they don't fall into any of the 95 invented genders at all? What do you do? Well, here they are trying to deal with that problem.
The rules specify that when we have a gender non-binary candidate or officer, the non-binary individual is counted as neither male nor female, and the remaining 6 offices must be gender balanced. With the results of the previous 4 elections, our elected officers are currently 2 male and 2 female. In order to be gender balanced, we must elect 1 male, 1 female, and 1 person of any gender. So again, this is what we have to do for this vice chair race. We have to elect 1 male, 1 female, and 1 person of any gender. To ensure our process accounts for male, female, and non-binary candidates, we conferred with our RBC co-chair, our LGBT caucus co-chair, and others to ensure that the process is inclusive and meets the gender balance requirements in our rules. To do this, our process will be slightly different than the one outlined to you earlier this week.
You got to get them out of there. Zim Zur and them, they got to go. And with force. You got to get them away from y'all. Not you get away from them, but you got to get them away from y'all.
Hello, Democrats. Hey, I am speaking, and I would love your attention. There is a black woman at this podium, and I deserve your attention like the 11 people who went before me. Yes, I am speaking.
Good evening, Democrats. Look up here. 3 strong black women standing before you. 3 black women who, rather than just grabbing a chair, ran for chair.
They got to go. Look at me. I'm black. She black. Her black. Them black. We black. I get a black. You get a black. Everybody get a black. I'm a black woman. I'm a woman. We black. They got to go. They got to go. Y'all got to get them away from y'all. Not you get away from them. You got to get them away from y'all. They nominated these people as the chair of the DNC, but you expect that people are going to stop seeing the left as insane? Stephen A. Smith said that Trump looked normal to people. Stephen said that y'all are convincing yourselves that you did nothing wrong.
I am no longer allowing the gilded cage of normalcy to cast a cloud over my life anymore. I'm just going to be me.
Spirits of disorder. And that one goes by the name of MGO. And did any of you detect the disdain in her spirit that she has for what's normal?
The gilded cage of normalcy.
They are against all things natural, nature, and normal. And you got to get them out of there. And they don't even belong in the DNC in the first place. They're not Democrats. They're not even leftists. They belong to Karl Marx. They belong to Pol Pot. They are Lenin's interns. And they were birthed from Xi Jinping, Mao Zedong's wife. They are her offspring. Again, these people are not even Democrats. They just might as well be. Might as well be, because they are parasites within the party. Parasites that are deeply embedded, and you got to get them out of there. And again, don't get away from them. You got to get them away from y'all. And what do I mean by get them away from y'all instead of y'all getting away from them? What I mean by that is that thing I've been hearing about the DNC thinking about going independent. And listen, Democrats going independent is a bitch move to even consider abandoning your own party. Rebranding won't help. And rebranding especially won't help when the same lunatics are in there. And rebranding means that you think that you did nothing wrong. And thinking you did nothing wrong means you will continue to do what you've been doing.
Republicans are criticizing Governor Tony Evers for a bill that would change the word mother to inseminated person. Our Wisconsin State Capitol Bureau Chief Vanessa Kelson has more on the bill and the widespread reaction it's garnering.
From tech billionaire Elon Musk describing the bill as messed up, to Packers legend Brett Favre describing it as nonsense, the Wisconsin governor is in the spotlight for using what he calls gender-neutral language in his executive budget bill.
What the Republicans say is a lie, so of course I'm pretty PO'd about that.
Inseminated persons. You got to get these people away from you. You got to. And you see this governor? Do he got on a dress and lipstick and fake titties? No. No. Or has he had his dick cut off so surgeons could craft him a makeshift vagina? A vagina that's not really a vagina, but rather it's an open wound. An open wound, that's why they have to keep a dildo or something up in there to keep it from closing, because the body knows that that hole is not supposed to be down there. So it's trying to heal itself by closing up. But do he got that? No. He looks like a regular person, don't he? And yeah, whoever didn't know, they have to keep a plug in that hole down there, and they have to do it for life. But you see this governor? An ally of the LGBTQIA cult. And they look normal. I warned people about that before too. Don't just be expecting some sassy, spicy talking dude in heels.
You know what I mean.
You know what Paris means.
Exactly. Butch Queen.
Butch Queen.
Butch Queen.
Butch Queen.
The allies. You got to be able to recognize them too. You got to get them away from y'all. You got to get this movement, these people away from y'all. You have to. Listen to this clip, and I'll have a visual for the person behind the voice, and her name is Sophie Lewis.
But I would love one day to see the queer gestational commune in which biobags of some kind enabled gestators to pause, share, transfer, redistribute, temporarily walk away from pregnancies. I would love to see these technologies help denaturalize motherhood and liberate those with uteruses from the imperative to gestate. This would require the expropriation of the means of safer obstetrics and maximally assisted reproduction, currently monopolized by capitalism's elite. Like Firestone, I have to believe we can do it, and I hope we will know what it's like to manufacture our children with the help of some kind of wet tech, enabling a form of common gestational touch that inflicts no more harm to a fetus's many parents that we can collectively accept. Okay. I will now shift gears a bit.
You got to kick them out. You got to kick them out. They got to go. Women, you are the problem, she said. Women and girls. Y'all are the problem because you make babies that only feed capitalism. Therefore, you must be rendered useless, and all procreation must be governed by the state, and all babies are to be conceived in a machine. That's what she said. And she's not the only one. It's a whole bunch of them. That is the mindset within the DNC. That mindset is part of the woke progressive platform. It's part of their mission statement. And it's in the left party. Got to get them out of there. They're anti-human species. You got to get them out of there. Denaturalize motherhood, she said. Denaturalize motherhood, she said. And I told y'all too many times before that these people are against all things natural, nature, and normal, which made it easy for a demon like Trump to appear to be normal. And I'll be playing that audio from Sophia Lewis again in a future video. Matter of fact, I might just clip that part and put it in another video as is, because that mentality needs to be talked about in length. But do what I tell you to do. Do what I tell you to do, or else you're going to have to maybe wait for somebody to get murdered by the cops. Like how George Floyd energized the left, you're going to need to murder. And that only might help only a little bit, because a murder is not going to make people forget the demonology that we've been seeing from the left since 2019. And the thing is, you see, people don't recognize the left no more. We don't know what that is. And whatever it is, it's not the left we knew before 2019. So y'all need to become a familiar face again. And again, don't get away from them. Get them away from you. You got to get them away from you, because they're going to stick to you like a tick. And they have to, because the other party, the Republican Party, the Red Party, absolutely will not have that trash in their party. And on their own, the woke progressives, they'll stick out too much on their own. They wouldn't even be able to disguise the crazy. So they needed a host body, and that host body has been the DNC. And pretending that you did nothing wrong is not going to help you. Trying to ignore the woke progressives, that won't help you. Relying on Trump shenanigans to get you back in there, that's a dice roll. And unless it's the hill you want to die on, rebranding won't help. That thing needs to be rebuked publicly. And they're not going to just let you ignore their issues and ignore their causes. They're not going to let you. So a public war is what needs to happen. Not a Cold War, a public war that's visible. And again, don't think you can just pretend that you never knew them. So you can't do that. That's not going to help you. You can't pretend that you never knew them. So you got to...